Have you ever felt like the weight of your past is silently steering your present? Childhood trauma can leave invisible scars, but here's the most important thing to remember. Those scars don't have to dictate your future. You are so much more than what happened to you. In this video, we're going to walk through 8 signs that childhood trauma might still be affecting you, not to dwell on the pain, but to help you recognize it, understand it, and ultimately transform it into strength. Healing is possible, and it starts right here. For many trauma survivors, the world can feel like a minefield of potential threats. This heightened sensitivity isn't a flaw. It's a survival mechanism that developed in response to unsafe or unpredictable environments during childhood. The brain, conditioned to detect danger, becomes finely attuned to subtle cues, interpreting even neutral or ambiguous situations as potentially hostile. This hyper-awareness is not a conscious choice, but a protective instinct designed to keep the survivor safe. While this sensitivity can feel exhausting, it is also a testament to resilience. Survivors possess a heightened ability to pick up on emotions and navigate complex social dynamics. With understanding and support, this acute awareness can be transformed into an empowering strength that nourishes connection and insight. Transform your perspective. Imagine reframing this heightened sensitivity not as a flaw, but as the deep well of resilience that it is, your inner system finely attuned to protect you. With compassion and support, this instinct can evolve into a remarkable strength, granting you the wisdom to navigate relationships and life with profound clarity and insight. When caregivers, those meant to provide safety, become sources of harm, trust becomes an uphill battle. In adulthood, this can manifest as guardedness, attachment struggles, or a deep fear of abandonment. Survivors may swing between intense attachment or codependency and aloofness or hyper-independence as a way to protect themselves from vulnerability. These behaviors stem from a deeply ingrained fear of betrayal or rejection, often rooted in experiences of inconsistent or conditional love. While rebuilding trust is challenging, it begins with a willingness to trust oneself. By slowly embracing vulnerability and setting healthy boundaries, survivors can cultivate meaningful connections. Healing relationships take time, but every small step toward openness is a triumph of courage over fear. Now take a moment. Start by building a relationship with yourself, listening to your needs, respecting your boundaries, and acknowledging your worth. Trusting again after betrayal is an act of bravery, and every step toward vulnerability is an act of courage. Childhood trauma doesn't just leave emotional scars, it creates a ripple effect that shapes how the brain perceives and reacts to the world. The prolonged stress of trauma can rewire neural pathways, heightening the brain's sensitivity to perceived threats and altering the way it regulates emotions. This increased sensitivity often leaves survivors vulnerable to conditions such as depression, anxiety, PTSD, or complex PTSD. However, these challenges are not signs of weakness. They are the brain's survival mechanisms in action, forged in the face of adversity. Over time, the constant activation of the stress response can dysregulate the nervous system, making it harder to differentiate between safety and danger. Survivors may experience heightened emotional responses, difficulty concentrating, or chronic exhaustion due to the toll of being in a prolonged state of hypervigilance. Biologically, your nervous system has learned to respond swiftly to threats, a skill that can serve you in powerful ways when redirected. For example, this heightened sensitivity can make you highly intuitive, an excellent problem solver, or deeply attuned to others' emotions. By recognizing when hypervigilance is helpful, such as in assessing complex situations or detecting subtle emotional shifts, you can start to differentiate between real threats and perceived ones. This awareness can turn what once felt like a burden into a strength, allowing you to trust your instincts and channel your heightened awareness into areas where it empowers you, rather than drains you. Many trauma survivors carry an invisible script etched into their subconscious that whispers, "I'm not good enough," "I'm unworthy," or "I'm unlovable." These deep-seated beliefs are often rooted in early experiences where love or validation was conditional, inconsistent, or entirely absent. As time passes, this internalized sense of inadequacy can stifle personal growth, leading to self-doubt, perfectionism, and/or even self-sabotage as individuals try to avoid perceived failure or rejection. These beliefs, however, are not intrinsic truths. They are echoes of past environments shaped by circumstances outside of the survivor's control. They are reflections of how the brain and heart adapted to survive, not a reflection of the person's inherent worth. Healing from these struggles involves gently untangling the web of limiting beliefs, repeated patterns, and self-sabotaging behaviors that often fuel by subconscious programmings of shame, guilt, or unworthiness. This journey often begins with self-awareness, recognizing that these narratives were learned, not chosen, and were shaped by experiences beyond your control. From there, survivors can take courageous steps toward rewriting their internal script, replacing self-criticism with self-compassion and affirming their innate worth. Let's flip the script. Self-worth isn't found, it's reclaimed. Healing involves rewriting those harmful narratives and embracing the truth that every person is inherently worthy of love, success, and their desires just by simply existing. Childhood trauma often disrupts the brain's ability to manage intense emotions, leaving survivors feeling overwhelmed by waves of anger, sadness, or even fear. For some, emotions can feel uncontrollable, like tidal waves crashing against the shore. Others may numb their feelings through avoidance strategies like overworking, substance use, or isolation. These reactions are not weaknesses. They are the brain's way of managing pain without the tools it needed to cope. Learning to regulate emotions is a journey of patience and self-awareness. It involves creating space between feeling and reaction, allowing time to process rather than being swept away. Now consider this. Emotions don't have to be enemies, they can be guides. With time and practice, you can learn to surf the waves of emotion rather than being consumed by them, finding strength in every small victory along the way. Trauma often creates an internal conflict, a yearning for happiness coupled with a fear of it. This paradox can lead to various behaviors such as self-sabotaging, procrastination, or avoiding meaningful relationships. Procrastination may serve as a shield against the fear of failure, while avoiding relationships can protect against vulnerability or the fear of rejection. These patterns often stem from subconscious programmings or beliefs that success or love is undeserved, or worse, that they will inevitably lead to pain. Breaking free from self-sabotage begins with recognizing its roots. It's not laziness or a lack of willpower, it's fear. By addressing this fear with self-compassion, reconnecting with yourself while reframing your relationship with success, love, and vulnerability, you can start to make choices aligned with your true desires. Here's the breakthrough moment. What if you were to embrace the idea that joy and success are your birthright? By reprogramming your subconscious mind and releasing the belief that you're unworthy, it opens the door to a life of possibility and fulfillment. Treat yourself with kindness and care, and begin to rewrite the negative narrative and allow yourself to grow and thrive. Amid the pain of trauma lies a hidden strength, the resilience to endure and the empathy to understand others on a profound level. Survivors often possess an extraordinary capacity to connect, support, and uplift those around them. Their lived experience with hardship gives them an authenticity that cannot be taught, and a kindness that comes from truly understanding what it means to struggle. This empathy, when paired with self-care, can become a powerful tool for healing, not just for themselves, but for others as well. Turning pain into purpose transforms the survivor's story into one of empowerment and hope. Imagine using this empathy as a powerful force for good. Your resilience is a testament to your strength. By nurturing yourself as deeply as you care for others, you can use your unique gifts to create a life filled with meaning and connection. Healing from childhood trauma is not a linear process. It's a lifelong journey filled with both breakthroughs and setbacks. Survivors may revisit old wounds or discover new layers of healing as they grow and evolve. With a life coach, therapy, self-reflection, and supportive relationships are invaluable tools. But healing also requires patience, courage, and a commitment to showing oneself compassion. This journey isn't about erasing the past, but about accepting it, growing from it, understanding its impact, and ultimately thriving despite adversity. It's about transforming pain into growth, finding joy in small victories, and building a life rooted in self-love and acceptance. Here's the most profound truth about healing. It's not about wiping away the past. It's about embracing it, learning from it, and stepping into the future with hope, strength, and a renewed sense of purpose. Celebrate the courage it takes to keep moving forward, because every step is a victory. Trauma may leave its marks, but it doesn't get to decide who you are. Your healing journey is uniquely yours, and every step you take is a testament to the incredible resilience of the human spirit. Healing isn't about forgetting what happened. It's about reclaiming your power, rewriting your story, and discovering the beauty in the chapters of your life that are still waiting to unfold. You are not defined by what you've been through. You are defined by how you rise, grow, and choose to move forward.